Welcome to Nonprofit Online Podcast. I'm David Higgins. I am so excited about our conversation that we're going to have today. We're going to be speaking to Cleveland Ballet and talking about who they are and what they are as a nonprofit. It is one of the fastest growing ballet companies in our nation, and we get to speak to the Director of Development. This podcast is brought to you by Demystifying Fundraising Funnels. It is being released wherever books are sold on the 25th of this month, as well as on Audible. It is a digital marketing blueprint to fund your nonprofit. And as a nonprofit, you're saying, David, we're trying to move online with our fundraising or a portion of our fundraising. How do we maximize the effect on our community and our communication with our community? Please get this book. You will find that there is not just really simple to use tools, but clearly laid blueprints, how you can utilize it, bring your teams into one language, one conversation, even be able to have your boards all walking with the same vision in front of you so they understand what you are trying to do as a leader, director, and fundraiser. Well, in the fall of 2022, the Cleveland Ballet will be entering their 8th season. The Cleveland Ballet's mission is to represent world-class dance through classical and new works, and to ensure the classical and neoclassical ballet is accessible and relevant to audience of all ages and backgrounds. The company creates dance and outreach programs of the highest levels of excellence, reaching deeply into the hearts of their community to inspire audiences. And who is responsible to keep their stakeholders engaged and the community curious? It's the Director of Development, Laura Villwock. Laura, it is so good to have you here with Nonprofit Online Podcast.
Thank you, David. I am so happy to be here and excited for our conversation.
I have to tell you, the Cleveland Ballet is a beautifully run company, and I have really enjoyed even our research over this last week as we did a deep dive into, what is making it tick. You really are connected to a wonderful institution.
I definitely am. I mean, I'm so lucky. Not only is it a great company, but it is a fun company. I mean, who gets to come to work every day, hear music in the studio, get to talk with the dancers and everything. I mean, they're doing their stretches and everything in the break room. I get to talk with the president and CEO, who is a PhD in physics and a great businessman, Dr. Michael Krasniansky, the artistic director, Gladys Guadalupe, and also his wife is from Puerto Rico. We have dancers from 10 different countries, 29 dancers, 10 different countries. I hear every language out in the hallways. It's a fantastic place to be. Plus, we get to talk to all of the different kinds of, government representatives, business leaders, all of our community leaders are all a part of this particular arts and culture center in Northeast Ohio.
That's beautiful. I love the thought of so many languages surrounding you. That makes such a healthy environment for everyone that's connected. When we first moved to San Diego, when I was founding and raising up the San Diego Performing Arts Center there, our children went to a school, about 2,500 students, but there is 58 languages spoken at that school. It's just a real melting pot of people from around the world. It was a Navy town, a lot of military coming in and out, and their teenagers all went to school at this particular school. And it was a very healthy environment for my children, and that was wonderful. Ohio has been your home your entire adult life. And what is that region of the country? What is it that makes it home for you?
Well, aside from my husband's entire family being here and my immediate family being here, there's so much about Ohio and the Midwest to love because it doesn't have, just one kind of weather or something like that. It's got every single season. There's a fall, there's a winter, a spring, and a summer. It has arts and culture, Playhouse Square, the Cleveland Museum of Art, the Cleveland Orchestra, everything is here. We have the Cleveland Browns, we have the Cleveland Cavs, we have, well, now it's the Cleveland Guardians and not the Indians. Um, we have everything. And there's something new every day. We absolutely love it. Education is great. Our healthcare is fantastic. Northeast Ohio is the place to be.
You almost have me sold. It
Come
sounds
on
like a
in.
great place to raise a family.
It really is. I mean, honestly, my kids are grown, but we've got grandkids now. And I mean, I can't tell you how much fun it was to raise our kids. And there's always something to do. And I mean, if nothing else, you can go outside. You can go to the Cuyahoga Valley National Park, which is, in the center of everything. I mean, there's always, something going on.
How about you? Do you have any dance background at all?
Well, I'll tell you, first of all, you're not alone. Lynn Swan, I remember sitting down with my grandpa and seeing an interview with Lynn Swan, a football player in the 70s, and how he studied ballet in order to be, a better player because it makes you more precise. It makes you lighter on your feet. So you are not alone. But personally, I am the youngest of four children. So by the time I came around, my mom was sick and tired of paying for a bunch of lessons. There were clarinet lessons and trumpet and French horn and violin and everything else. My siblings got everything. And when I came along and said, Mom, I want to learn to be a ballet dancer, that's what I want to do the rest of my life. She looked at me and said, just join the choir, honey.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it was terrible. However, my friends danced and everything. So I got to go to all of their recitals and, I practiced with them, so I was never on stage either, but I loved it. So by the
It sounds
time I had a daughter, I was like, yes. So I got to go buy her leotards and the shoes and everything else. I put her in class. And after the first 8 weeks, she said, Mommy, can I play softball?
but it sounds like you're a dancer at heart, and
I
that's
am.
important. Absolutely. I you have about a master's in business administration. How
Yes.
important is your degree to how you manage your responsibilities with the Cleveland Ballet?
It's very important. I mean, I got to give a shout out to my Bobcats at Ohio University. I love that program. I love the school. And I mean, really, the thing about an MBA is that they give you this wonderful overview of everything that goes into a business. And I use some of what I learned in everything, whether it be approaching someone and asking for a gift or talking with possible funders and that sort of thing, or if I'm just out and about and shaking hands and letting people know, here's Cleveland Ballet and this is what we're going to be doing. Come see us. Or if I'm talking to someone about community outreach and how we can, you know, educate young people or just the community at large about our programs and what we're doing artistically, I'm using some of all of it. And of course, the business part of it, the dollar signs and all of that, that's a big part, but it's not the only thing. And an MBA is like so enriching of who you are and what you do and how you relate to everybody. And it's a wonderful degree and it really does matter a lot. And I think that that was the perfect choice for me.
That's super good. Um, I you talk about connecting with the community and how your degree helps you do that. And I noticed that some of the things that you're doing at the Cleveland Ballet is even outside of your dance and outside of your dance structure. One of your fundraisers was auction off tickets to a local great room or escape room, should I say, the
Yes.
great escape room. And my family and I like doing escape rooms. In fact, my daughter on her 20th birthday, we did an escape room in Portland, and we had a lot of fun doing that. And I got to be told by my children how much smarter they are than me. So, have you ever done an escape room?
Several times. My husband is a huge Sherlock Holmes fan. And so, we've done several. The Great Escape Room in Akron has several Sherlock Holmes rooms. So, of course, we've done those, and we've done a few others with friends, and then also our kids. They like mysteries and detective work too. And I mean, it's always a competition, isn't it? Who's going to be the one who comes up with the thing that gets you out of the room? And such a fun experience. And I think that, that in itself is, something about business and, how you relate, finding the solutions to things. And an
Yeah.
escape room is something that you can definitely use to hone your skills.
I think we
Yeah,
should call it
so
therapy and
fun.
do it at least once a week. I think that's what we should
Exactly.
do. Yeah, turn it into some kind of benefit for working with the Cleveland Ballet.
Yes.
My wife, Michelle, she owns her own bookkeeping company, the nonprofit bookkeeper. And they're working with dozens of nonprofit companies, some really big ones, national, international nonprofits. They manage all their books. And so she has a mind for doing cleanup, a mind for details. And whenever we did the escape room, she was constantly seeing things that I didn't see. And she guys, David, it's just like doing cleanup for one of my accounts. I'm like, oh my goodness, it's
Bring
not
it in
fair.
sync.
I can stand there and talk about the room all day long, but she's actually figuring it out. So talk to me about the Cleveland Ballet. What drew you to them?
Well, aside from the fact that I always wanted to be a ballet dancer, um, I enjoy the arts, every kind of bit of the arts, the Cleveland Museum of Art, Cleveland Orchestra, Cleveland Ballet, the opera, Cleveland Pops Orchestra. Those are all things that I grew up with. I mean, so lucky to be in an area that has so many different kinds of things in order to enrich your mind and inspire you, not just an intellectual thing, but something that is artistic and gets you right here, something that's emotional. So I have always been a follower of the arts. And so when the opportunity came up for Cleveland Ballet, and I was discussing it with Ms. Guadalupe and Dr. Krasniansky, what is it that they're looking for? They really wanted to not just, be a success, monetarily or something like that. They wanted to make an impact on the community. And so do I. I
Mm,
mean, that's something about Cleveland. It's been my home. And I want to make a mark on it. I want to make it better. When I leave, I want people to say, she really did something. And so that's part of why I wanted to do it. One thing that Ms. Guadalupe, we call her Ms. G here in the office, but one thing that she always says is a great city deserves a great ballet. And so here we are and making it happen. I
mhm.
love that, bringing it to all of the audiences and a lot of the community outreach that we do, it's with young people and being able to educate them about ballet and the history of it and showing them the athleticism and, the absolute dedication that the dancers have is very important. And it's a wonderful thing to be able to share.
I see such a vastly different perception between my view of what the culture of Cleveland is and your view. Because when I'm looking at Cleveland now, it's what's being marketed to me from the outside, what I see when I'm looking at TV and the internet. It's a city that's a blue collar city. It's hardworking, iron and rust, and kind of these. Everybody's got a hard hat that walks through the city. Football fans are all brown fans, which are the best hardest losing team in the NFL. You know, on the other side,
We
you got the
really are.
Cavaliers, a small window. It's just a hard luck team of the, and you just see these really hardworking, gritty people that almost make it on a constant basis, right? And then in the middle of all of this, you have something beautiful like the Cleveland Ballet. I would even say renowned, company like the
Mhm.
Cleveland Ballet. Um, how do you market and communicate a bridge between the perception of what Cleveland is and what you are? Because you are part of Cleveland, but it seems so vastly different than what I think of when I think of Cleveland.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the things that we're working on, building that image outside of Cleveland because everybody in Cleveland knows. Here's, University Circle where there's, Severance Hall and all of, the Cleveland Museum of Art and all of that kind of thing. Playhouse Square, which is our residence, that is where we perform on a regular basis. Our season is based there. It's the second largest theater district in the country. It's
Really?
second
In the
only to
country?
Broadway. Yeah, it's second to Broadway. It's
No,
right here
really?
in Cleveland. Yeah. I mean,
Okay, I had no idea. That's kind of crazy.
yes, and that's, we're the resident ballet company for Playhouse Square. And then, of course, too, there's, Case Western Reserve University, there's Cleveland Clinic, there's all of these other things about Cleveland. And it's not necessarily what people outside think of. They think of sports, the Cavs, the Guardians, and of course the Browns. Gotta love the Browns, and they are a great partner of ours. But there's so much more to it. And so that's one of the things that we are working hard to change the perception of because there is so much more to this city than, the sports and, the hard hats and those kinds of things. And I really got to say, the city itself is, evolving. Yes, we still have, the manufacturing and the steel and those kinds of things, although less steel than we used to. We still have those kinds of industries. However, you know, we're moving into a few other arenas. And so, the people haven't seen the last of Cleveland. That that reputation isn't necessarily what's going to be in the future, and especially if Cleveland Ballet has anything to say about it.
I absolutely love that. That's great. You know, if somebody came up to me in the business office or sat down in the boardroom, they said, we want to be like Cleveland's art culture. Outside of Broadway, they're the number one art culture scene in America. Oh my God. You're
Mine.
kidding, really? And so when you're saying that to me, I think it's beautiful. I mean, I love learning new things. And to me, that's my check of the day. That's pretty exciting. Laura, what type of community connection activities do you put together for the Cleveland Ballet that we could be able to say, oh, that's a great idea. Maybe I can use that in my community?
Well, the first thing that I will say is Cleveland Browns, because they are the biggest thing in the world, well, at least
In
as far
your
as
world,
the world or Cleveland. But
we have the Seattle Seahawks right over the hill here. So
yeah. Nah. um, Cleveland Browns Foundation has a program called Stay in the Game. And it's something that Cleveland Ballet partners with them on. And we partner also with the Cleveland Metropolitan School District uh, to assist students to stay in school to achieve their highest level of education and to go on to big things, whether that be to college, whether that be to trade school, whether that be directly into the workforce, whatever it is that they are wanting to do, to shoot high and to achieve it. And so we work with them about that. So recently we did a performance for students that had perfect attendance. Um, we are going to have students coming to our May 6th and 7th performances of A Midsummer Night's Dream. So we have a program that they're actually going to be a part of. It's called Ballet Tells a Story. And so A Midsummer Night's Dream, written by William Shakespeare, of course. A lot of teachers in school are teaching that. And so we are doing the ballet in conjunction with their uh, teaching, their education, their classes, and we're combining them using the ballet in order to help the students interpret the play in ballet. It's giving that extra oomph to understanding the emotions and how things are playing out between the characters. So we're actually working with teachers in order to develop the program, and it will be something that we're doing ongoing. um,
It sounds like you are highly invested into networking in your local community.
Very much, very
Wow,
much. With the
beautiful.
Girl Scouts, the Boys and Girls Club, Cleveland Playhouse, all of those kinds of things, working with young people, working with people in disadvantaged areas, those kinds of things, making sure that we're not being that exclusive sort of art form from 100 years ago.
Yeah,
We're an art form for everybody. What what we do is something that expresses in movement, you know, the emotions of individuals who are experiencing any particular thing. So, A Midsummer Night's Dream, there's love, there's confusion, there's fun, there's frolicking, there's all sorts of things. And so we are working hard in order to have everybody see it, love it, and want to be a part of it.
that's beautiful. I love that. Um, fundraising is a critical to a nonprofit organization. It's like breathing. It's if it's not going on, you're dying.
Yeah.
And it just has to be a part, which is really so much is your focus and why you're there with Cleveland Ballet. What's working for you in the COVID era?
Well, the biggest and most important thing is touring. In the warmer months, I mean, right now we've got snow up to our knees. So, it's not as helpful now. But in the warmer months, we are touring the region. We go down to Summit County, Stark County, and everywhere around Cleveland. We've been at the Great Lakes Science Center, at the harbor, and all of those different kinds of places where we can perform outdoors.
Mm,
People can come and they can see it. The cultural gardens, that's another thing that you probably don't know about Cleveland, but that will be a conversation for another time. Um, that's a wonderful place that we love to perform. And we can have all sorts of people come and view the performances and experience them, and it gives us an opportunity to actually go and talk to people who haven't seen it before, haven't been a supporter, but that fall in love with it and want it to continue. And so they reach out, and they're a part of our Friends of Cleveland Ballet now. So that's another big thing, is making sure that you have a group of supporters that can reach out to the people they know, and introduce them, recruit
mm.
them, have them learn more about it.
That's beautiful. I was reading an article earlier today, and it was talking about how business likes to call themselves a family, but a corporation can fire you. So they're not really a family; they're more like a community, and sometimes a community of thugs. Unfortunately, though, on the nonprofit side, we actually can create community, and we can create that sense of family. That's a beautiful thing about what we are in the name nonprofit. We are there to profit you outside of the monetary area. And it is really one of the beautiful things about this community that you and I get to serve in. So I do have a question for you, though, about your website. Mind if I throw one at you about your website?
Please do.
Now we have a scale, and we spend all day, every day, different people on our team looking at websites, scaling them out, helping nonprofits with what they should do to improve, their search and their communication and that type of thing online. And on our scale, your website got a 10 out of 10. And right. So if you came to us and said, David, can you consult with us about our website, how we can improve it? We could say, look, we can give you some ideas, but it's not really going to improve it because right now you are cutting edge for nonprofit websites. So whoever is running your website, you need to tell them, but from an outside professional company, we give them 2 thumbs up, 5
Oh,
stars.
thank you.
Yeah, applause, all that.
Yay. I mean, shout out to Julia Z. She is our marketing manager and she is fantastic. I
Yeah.
mean, she just has wonderful ideas and a fantastic eye for images and being able to show exactly what it is we're about. And she always makes sure that the right information is there and it's easy to find. Absolutely love Julia. Thank you, Julia.
By the quality of your website, I can see that your online presence is important to you as a nonprofit. But
Yes.
in the area of communication, what platforms are getting a response for you?
Well, you know what? I would say that in person right now is getting a lot of response. I think that we have all been starving for that in person touch. So when we can actually see someone and shake their hand or do the fist bump or elbow bump, whatever it might be, I mean, people are loving that. However, you know, because ballet is traditionally, something that older adults, appreciate, you know, but in this time of COVID, I think that a lot more younger people are looking for something. And so they are finding Cleveland Ballet. They are getting engaged and really making contact with our YouTubes. With our dancers love to do YouTube. They show you how to fix your shoes, your dance shoes. One of our dancers baked a cake, but doing dance moves while she baked a cake in her little kitchen. It was adorable. I mean, stuff like that. Like they're interested in getting to know our dancers and that sort of thing. And, that sort of thing is what is really attracting the younger people. And just like every nonprofit and fundraising, we really need to be, moving the younger people up into our database. Who are we going to reach out to? Those are the people who are going to be the primary funders and our supporters, in the coming months, years, and that sort of thing. So it's important to reach out to them. And so social media is very important to us, and along with the website.
No, I agree. YouTube is vitally important in an organization's communication, and doing it in a way that engages interest and involvement. I mean, this conversation here is going to be on YouTube for that exact reason. Yes, we're going to make you YouTube famous. In fact, when you bring up this is a side note, but maybe I'll edit out this comment later. When you bring up your name on YouTube, it pops up on a channel. You know that, right?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if I want to know. I haven't looked recently, so
Yeah, it has one video on it.
oh, really?
Yeah, and it's good. It's totally fine, but the fundraiser. But I was like, oh wow! But then go look at Cleveland Ballet, and the communication there is wonderful. And if you have a child that's in ballet, go check out their YouTube site for Cleveland Ballet. I think you'll really enjoy your journey there. If somebody wants to know more about Cleveland Ballet, how do they do that?
Well, first and foremost, there's the website, www.clevelandballet.org. If they would like to speak to someone, they can call our offices at 216-320-9000, or they can email me directly, and that's Laura, Laura, at clevelandballet.org. Um, or they can look at Playhouse, playhousesquare.org. There's a lot
Beautiful.
of information about upcoming performances there.
That's excellent, excellent. I hope I make it to Cleveland, and when I do, I'm gonna come watch a ballet. That is gonna be fun.
Absolutely. Let me know when you're coming.
Thank you, thank you. Maybe we can do a podcast in-house right there.
There you go. That would be great. You can speak to Gladisa, Miss G herself.
Excellent. If Michelle comes, you and your husband and Michelle and I have to go do an escape room. That'll be a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we can spend the time talking and they can figure it all out and everybody will be happy. All right. We like to end every single show here to shout out a nonprofit that's doing a really good job. And I'll go ahead and go first. And I'm going to give a shout out and then I'm going to hand it to you and give you the opportunity to do the same. Sound okay?
Thank you. Absolutely.
So I love Charity Navigator as a communicator, and they give really reliable blogging and communication. And a few of the highly rated charities that they put out there, they mentioned one which is different because we in my world, I love the performing arts, and I always do give shout outs to different performing arts groups and musical and dance groups that I think are doing well. But then they brought up the Montana Wilderness Association, and I was like, that is a great one. So I did a deep dive into who they are. We started looking at, what level of transparency they have. How do they use their money that's donated to them? How they ran as an organization. And I agree with Charity Navigator's opinion of them, where they gave them 4 out of 4 stars as a high impact nonprofit. They're protecting Montana's wilderness, heritage, and quiet beauty and outdoor traditions. For more than 50 years, Montana's Wilderness Association has been working with communities across the state to protect Montana's wilderness heritage, quiet beauty, and outdoor traditions. The association's commitment to grassroots conservation, that's a different word, conservation, has proved instrumental in the passage of the 1964 Wilderness Act. This nonprofit not only says something, they do something. They are actually involved and action oriented in trying to protect the environment in their state. So I give a shout out to Montana Wilderness Association. They're doing a great job. And if you'd like to know more about them, you can just look them up by their name, and you'll find actually quite a few articles about them as well as about them specifically. If you are running a nonprofit that is an environmental nonprofit, have a look at the way they do things. It's always great to learn by those that are also trying to accomplish the same task as yourself. That's the Montana Wilderness Association. It is your turn, Laura. Who would
All
you like
right.
to give a shout out to?
I would like to give a shout out to University Hospital's sports medicine program. They do fantastic work, not only for us, but also for the Cleveland Browns and other organizations in the area. They are first and foremost, for the health and wellness of the athlete. Um, we are very lucky to have them here. They actually have a physical therapy room in the room right next to me, right there. And every Thursday, they come, they check our dancers, they make sure that they are in top shape so that nobody is dancing when they shouldn't be or anything like that. They take care of you. They make sure that you are completely fit and able to do the things that you love to do, and making sure that, your health and wellness is first and foremost.
That's beautiful. Fantastic. I want to leave before we say goodbye is the last word to you. And the moment I'm just going to hand you the mic and ask you to say whatever's on your heart to encourage the nonprofit leaders around you. And so I'm just going to set the scene just a little bit. Imagine on the stage at the Playhouse, and in walks nonprofit leaders that are really trying from all over the country. And they come, they fill up all the seats there. And you get a chance to just address them and encourage them and help them see 2022 through your eyes. The floor is yours. What would you like to say?
Don't give up. That's the first and foremost thing. Don't give up. Think outside the box. COVID affects us all in so many different ways. Cleveland Ballet was not on the stage at Playhouse Square for 22 months. the theaters were closed and everything else, we found a way. We made sure that we were keeping our dancers in top shape and performing in front of audiences, but we did it safely. We did it so that, the audiences were sated, our dancers were kept going in what they love, and we were able to stay in people's minds and maintain our support. Everybody can do it. You can do it. You can get out there, find a way. And then if you're struggling, reach out. We're all here to help each other.
That's fantastic. That's beautiful. Thank you so much. I'm going to take that as a clip and we're going to use that as a wonder clip.
Thank you.
Laura, it has been wonderful having this conversation with you. Thank you for being a part of Nonprofit Online.
Thank you so much for having me. It was fun. Thank you so much, David.
Wonderful. And for all of you that are out there watching and listening to this podcast, you are amazing. We need you. We need nonprofits more than ever. And keep living and loving and caring for your communities the way that you've been doing. And we're here to encourage you with ideas and thoughts. If you haven't got a chance to get the book, Demystifying Fundraising Funnels, do pick this up because it is vital to your planning as you move forward through this next year and transitioning to a whole online revenue stream that most, if not all, nonprofits are still looking to trying to find how to embed that side of their organization. We have enjoyed this conversation, Laura. Thank you so much for being a part of Nonprofit Online. And for all of you that are out there, you have an amazing week. Until we talk again, take care.